The only person left in the large room was Ji. She wasn't in a rush to get up and leave, so she stayed in her original seat and continued to sit there quietly. After a while, she lifted her eyelids towards the seat Hee-Jae-kun sat in. She stared at it for a long time until eventually, her gaze was locked onto it. Meanwhile, the waiter cleaned up the table noisily. The crisp sound of bowls and plates crashing into each other woke Ji up from her trance. She gently blinked her eyes that were a little sore from staring for so long. Then she got up, picked up her bag, and left Yuhadai restaurant. After hailing a taxi, Ji arrived back at the school. She wasn't in a hurry to go back to her dorm. Instead, she headed straight for the sports field. There was a group of people playing soccer on the field who shouted occasionally. Ji walked around the group. After she walked through the innermost part of the field, she found a seat in a quiet area. Ji dazed out so much that she forgot what she was thinking about when she first sat down. After she snapped back to her senses, Lin Yo's words from that night rang in her ears. "Let me introduce everyone to my friend, Hee-Jae-kun." Hee-Jae-kun. Ji instinctively tightened her fists. The pain forced her to realize that the dinner wasn't a dream, and it really did happen. After 4 years, she actually bumped into Hee-Jae-kun. An indescribable sharp pain instantly engulfed Ji's entire body. Image upon image of what happened 4 years ago flashed increasingly clearly before her eyes. People say time is the best medicine. 4 years had passed and Ji assumed those memories would have blurred over the years, but when Hee-Jae-kun reappeared alive and well in front of her, she realized that the pain was always hidden deep within her bones. It took a lot of energy for Ji to finally compose herself. At first, she planned to sit there quietly on the field by herself for a while, but the skies suddenly released a flash of lightning and the drizzle of rain came crashing down. There were often bursts of rain during the October evenings in Beijing. Ji promptly got up and ran towards the dorms. Just as she reached the front doors, Ji saw Bo-hee. She wanted to call out to her, but then she saw a familiar silhouette. It was Hee-Jae-kun. He was holding an umbrella as he dropped Lin Yo off at the dorm. Ji ignored the increasingly heavy rain and suddenly stopped walking. She observed everything around her, took a few steps back, and hid behind a lamp-post. Hee-Jae-kun and Lin Yo walked slowly. After Bo-hee and a few girls from that night's dinner said their goodbyes and ran upstairs, the two of them walked towards the dorm steps. Both Hee-Jae-kun and Lin Yo came to a stop. Lin Yo didn't seem to be in a rush to go back to her dorm block, so she turned around, looked at Hee-Jae-kun, and said something. As she was quite a distance away and the sound of the rain was quite loud, Ji couldn't hear what they were talking about. But from what she could see, they were happily chatting away, judging by Lin Yo's increasingly radiant smile. Ji's clothes were completely drenched. Since the incoming winds were so chilly, they made her whole body shiver. Just when Ji couldn't take it any longer, Lin Yo finally walked up the steps in front of the dorm. After Lin Yo disappeared into the dorm, Hee-Jae-kun continued to stand there for a while, holding his umbrella. Then, he turned around as though he was about to leave.